Hi, my name is Allison Smith, and I'm the Assistant Director of the UVM Extension 4-H program. And today I am giving you an overview of the 4-H program. This presentation is designed to be an introduction for families who are new, but also it could be a good refresher if you've been a part of the program for some time now. We're all getting back in the swing of things, and this presentation will give you an overview of some things like the calendar year, the type of programming we do, and also some of our educational philosophies and the positive youth development strategies that we use to help youth gain life skills and access positive mentorship in their life. So today, again, we're starting with the basics. We don't want to keep any secrets here in 4-H, and you might come across some different symbols and kind of traditions that are part of our organization, and one of those is the 4-H pledge. And so some clubs or programs might start off their activities by reciting the 4-H pledge, or you might see this language embedded in other places. And the pledge reads as follows: I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. You'll also notice that the writing is in white and green. And those are two of the colors that are 4-H. So you will see things like the clover and then green and white and the pledge, and also symbolism surrounding head, hands, heart, and health, which I think that the pledge explains a little bit about how those symbols play into our positive youth development organization. So what is 4-H? We are a youth serving organization. We've been around for a long time, since 1902, and we serve youth from ages 5 to 18. Our clover buds, that's what we call our youth who are ages 5 to 7, and they engage in 4-H a little bit differently. We make sure that clover buds at that age get to try lots of different things and don't necessarily take part in direct competition with one another. Whereas our older youth starting ages 8 may devote themselves to singular project areas. So if they're really interested in communication arts and public speaking, or perhaps one of our livestock projects like horse or dairy, we do allow them to commit to that project and really dive in deep. Whereas again, clover buds are there to really try lots of different things, much more activity based. So that way we're not pinning them down to one thing. There are competitions in the various projects that our youth ages 8 to 18 may partake in, and we'll go over some of those in the upcoming slide on our calendar. All of the experiences in 4-H are led either by UVM Extension 4-H staff or community volunteers, and our program is very grateful to have an extensive network of community volunteers who go through a training process, background checks, in order to be a part of our organization. And they're the ones who really make our program run. We could not reach the number of youth that we do without the help of our volunteers. And finally, 4-H utilizes project-based learning to help youth take a spark, something that they're really interested in, and use that project area as a vehicle for growing a life skill. So when I talk about life skills, you might be asking, what are some of those life skills? And we often use this targeting life skills wheel. Our life skills wheel is in our project records. You might see it on our website or in some of our curriculum, but we use this tool many times, handing it out to youth to take a look at and circle or color in which life skills they're interested in personally growing. And then we try to make connections between those life skills, their goals in their project, and how they might be able to practice some of the skills for things like communication, growing their empathy, sharing, teamwork, how to self-motivate, how to be responsible, how to make decisions or solve problems, critical thinking skills, things like that. And you can see the life skill wheel is really nicely laid out because it associates the life skills to things like our head, hands, heart, and health. So again, you'll see our pledge there, but then it breaks them down into skills that are related to things like caring, working, living, thinking, managing, etc. So what else is 4-H? Up until now, it might sound a bit serious, but there was a recent study done out of some of the land-grant universities that helped to facilitate the 4-H program in other states, and they found some commonalities across the various 4-H programs across the United States. And there were really three things that families came to 4-H to partake in, and three reasons why they stayed, and those three reasons were the same. It was to make new friends, try new things, and have fun. And I really like to go back to those because I think many of us can relate to, when we were growing up and we were seeking out experiences, or perhaps you have a family now, and the types of experiences that you might seek out for your family are where you can meet new people, you can have some new experiences, and of course, no one wants to be in a space where they're not having fun. So having fun is a key component of 4-H. One of the main ways that we work with youth and help them gain those life skills and have fun while they're doing it is called the experiential learning model. How many times have we been in a space where we are, seeing a speaker or learning about a topic and we're in a lecture setting? And while sometimes that's a really useful tool, I don't know about you, but many times I would rather be hands-on in the subject matter, trying it out. And that's what 4-H is all about. So with the experiential learning model, we take that spark that you see, like just like the sparkler someone's holding. That's that metaphor for the child who comes to our program who says, I'm interested in learning about animals, or I'm interested in learning about gardening. You know what would be really cool is I'd like to try to paint with watercolors. We take that spark and we try to create spaces where youth can try different activities in that project and really just get hands-on, experience the project. Once they've engaged in the activity, we often circle up or pair share, and youth can describe, what was it like to try watercolor painting? Was it hard? Did you like it? What did you observe? Give them some time to process. And then from there, how is this activity that you just tried, some of those skills, maybe how you overcame a frustration, or maybe the teamwork that it took to build something together? Can you generalize that for the youth and help them to see how they might apply those skills in other areas of their life? And so in short, we call this the do, reflect, apply model. On this side, we're just showing some pictures. Since we've been around since 1902, the 4-H program started under the United States Department of Agriculture. And in 1902, the United States was largely agricultural. And so 4-H started as a way to help get modern farming techniques out to families through youth. And since then, it's really been a youth development and workforce development program. So again, growing those life skills. And these photos just show some of the breadth of our program. So again, the sky is pretty much the limit. If a youth comes to you wanting to learn about any topic under the sun, we have many curriculum to support those topics. And as well as if we don't have a curriculum, it's really about working with your local county educator, what tools and resources or expertise might be in your community to help pair youth up with someone who can help them dive into that topic. But things like horse, dairy, livestock sciences, STEM science, robotics. We have an active shooting sports program, archery, teen science cafes, gardening, sewing, cooking. The list goes on and on for projects that youth can dive into in 4-H. So as a new family or someone who's revisiting some of the basics of 4-H, what roles can you or what role can you as a parent or caregiver play in your child's 4-H experience? We really see parents and caregivers as a main support to youth in this 4-H experience. And so there are a few strategies. First of all, once your child decides to become part of a 4-H program or 4-H club, they'll enroll in 4-H online, or if it's an event program, they might need to register, and certainly helping your youth to do that would be great. Also help them attend as many club meetings and activities as you can and as your schedule allows. We know families are balancing lots of different demands. And if you can't attend something, let that program or club leader know. Communication is really key to forging that relationship. If you feel like your family or your child needs some extra support, maybe your child really benefits from seeing things written as well as hearing them. That could be something that you let your leader know about, so that way your child can thrive in 4-H. So anything that would help give us a little bit more context as to how your child can be successful in a setting can really help elevate their experience. Also, we'd love to see when parents celebrate the accomplishments of their children and encourage them to take pride in their work. A lot of times, 4-Hers will come home and have tried an interesting activity and they're beaming and they really want to share about it. So take that time to listen to them and help. That's part of that reflection piece. It helps them talk a little bit about what they learned in their program on that day. We have several ways for you to stay informed about club activities. Our newsletter is called the Clovergram. You might also get recent mailings or emails from the office that be sure to read those. And the Clovergram comes out once a week and is the main way that we try to communicate to families all of the events going on around the state and the different opportunities open to 4-Hers. And again, similarly with registration, help your child submit any paperwork or applications that they need to on time. There are a few more strategies. So again, our program is run by volunteers, and all of our programs, the volunteers go through background checks, references, and training, but doesn't mean that other helping hands aren't still needed. So when you are joining a club or a program, maybe you can attend and help out with 4-H club activities, helping to pass out materials. Maybe it's you are willing to host a meeting at your house or a community location. We've had parents who can provide refreshments or teach a specific project skill, maybe come up with an activity or a community service project or a field trip idea. So all of these things could be of great help to your local volunteer. And I would say when you get involved in the program, just make that connection from the beginning. Really think about what some of your strengths are and, offer those up to the volunteer. We also encourage you to definitely participate with your child in any county and state events. So in 4-H, we tend to have local events at the community level, either club meetings and activities or a program, and then we try to scaffold those upwards through county and state events. This is a way for youth to learn more skills and also keep reinforcing those skills and meet others who are interested in the same thing. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to your club leader or your program leader. And also you can reach out to your 4-H county educator. Down the line in this presentation, we'll show you how you can find your county educator's information. And some leaders might have immediate roles for you to fill. So when you make that contact with them, they might have some thoughts as to things that they need help with, and others might have to think about it, or, it would be good to know so that way at a later time they can reach out when the need arises. So an overview of the 4-H year. It is a little different than the calendar year. We typically start enrollment in October, The 4-H year rolls over on October 1st, and so that's when you'll receive a lot of communications about getting enrolled in 4-H using our system called 4-H Online. And then October and November can be when a lot of our counties have regional achievement awards. They're wrapping up the past year. They're also kicking off the next year. And so they'll have some celebrations where they get together in the fall months, sometimes heading into winter, to pull everyone together and recognize those achievements, but also send everyone off into the new year set up for success. We also have some statewide events that are for teens. So in November is Youth Environmental Summit. Bovine Bonanza also happens in the fall, which is all things bovine. So this can be relevant to dairy, beef, working steer, and it's offers a number of activities and sessions to learn all about the bovine. Teen Leadership Weekend typically happens in November. December, we kick off Try for the Environment events. Whenever you see TRY, the TRY stands for Teens Reaching Youth, where teens are put into small groups, trained up, and then they go out to their various communities and become the teachers to younger youth, and is a very popular program. And then in January and February, our regional livestock knowledge contests kick off, things like quiz bowls that you might hear about, which are similar to Jeopardy, that can help test youth's knowledge on different topics. They're very fun, fast contests that youth may participate in. In February and March, there's the State Lambing Clinic, which has all things to do about sheep and is surrounding really the time when lambs are being born and how to take care of those. And there's more state livestock quiz bowls and skillathons. So youth who go on from the county or regional level might go on to the state level. And then March and April, you'll see what are called our regional days. And some of them have different names, things like Super Saturday, Communications Days, and these are the county and regional days where youth can participate in many different public speaking and communication exhibits. So things like public speaking category, tabletops, entering in posters and photos on different topics, as well as things like illustrated talks. So 4-H is very we feel very strongly that communication skills are important for our young people. And so we have several different ways that they can learn and practice those skills on public speaking. So the regional days culminate in what is called State Day, which is the statewide competition for public speaking. Then in spring, typically around May 1st is when most of our livestock approval forms are due. Livestock approval forms help youth to designate if they're showing animals, specific animals. They will designate those individual animals and declare that those will be the animals they're showing later in the season. And then for May, June, and July, we have many of our regional livestock shows. Some of the types of livestock could be horse, dairy, poultry. Those are the most popular within the state of Vermont. And those really continue through July and August, going upward to then the state level livestock shows. July is also when there's a shooting sports jamboree where youth come to try out different shooting sports disciplines and learn in different areas of knowledge, things like wildlife tracking and identification, and all camp out together. And then many of our regional and state fairs are also happening at that time. And so there are different ways to exhibit things like artwork, crafts, and demonstrate different skills learned throughout the 4-H year at the state and regional fairs. Our state dairy show typically happens late in the summer. And then in September, we have the Eastern States Exposition, also called the Big E. Many youth in the livestock areas head down to the Big E, which is a statewide or multi-state regional show from across the eastern states. And it's in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and a number of our public speaking and communications youth also attend. And this gives a chance for youth to engage in project work and showing their animals or engaging in public speaking to a much larger audience. It's a high energy event and is definitely a culminating experience for many 4-Hers. And finally, in September, as we start to wrap up the 4-H year, we also have an event called Outdoor Family Weekend, where families from across the state and beyond can get together at Groton State Forest and engage in different workshops to explore recreating and enjoying the outdoors together. So that was an overview of the calendar, but there are many other opportunities in 4-H. In your club or program, there's other ways to grow youth skills, um, some of which are leadership, and that can happen through holding different leadership positions within the club, things like president, secretary, treasurer, note taker. Other clubs have had some more creative titles to engage youth in growing different skills. So things like safety officer, where they give safety presentations on just personal safety tips, and or a game officer, activity officer, where that youth comes up with different ideas for activities and games that the club can participate in. As we've mentioned, public speaking and presentations are a big part of 4-H, so that can happen both at the club level. Public speaking is also woven into some of our livestock events. And of course, those public speaking and presentation days are a key part too. And community service is also, I would say, a keystone part of 4-H. We certainly want to instill in all of our 4-Hers that giving back to their community is an important thing to do. And we see many of our 4-Hers prioritize this, and oftentimes club projects will be surrounding something that they can do for their community. So I've given you a lot of information, and then one of the things that I want you to take away from this presentation is that you don't have to remember everything off of the top of your head. Just know that there's a lot of opportunity out there for youth in your community or in your family. And also there are people and resources to help you. So UVM does have a 4-H website, and I have the link here. National 4-H also has a website, but the UVM website is where we have an announcements page, we have a project page, and also your 4-H county educator information is all posted there. So that's really where you can find your local staff contact information, as well as upcoming dates of when things are happening. The National 4-H website has some great tips and tools for families, as well as some links to different activities. And from time to time, they post activity guides that are just free downloads. Shop 4-H is the National 4-H website where you can buy all things 4-H. So for example, I got this neat 4-H sweatshirt there, but you can also buy curriculum on many different project areas. Definitely note that as 4-H staff, we try to keep many of the copies of 4-H activity and curriculum books in our office as a lending library. So definitely before you purchase something, know that you can check with your 4-H educator and see if we have a copy that you can borrow in order to lead that project area for your youth. There's also a link to 4-H Online. I've mentioned that a few times, but that's the database system that we use, the enrollment system. By being enrolled in 4-H Online, it'll ensure that you are an official member of a 4-H club or program, and also it ensures that you'll receive communications regarding 4-H. The Clovergram newsletter is sent by email every Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. And that always includes opportunities and information statewide and locally about your 4-H program. And the one thing I would say is as we've moved into this digital age, we also are aware that in the state of Vermont, families have different levels of access to internet. So if you don't have regular access to email or if internet connectivity is an issue, let us know, let your staff member know, and that way we can ensure we're sending hard copy things in the mail, picking up the phone and calling or texting, whatever is your preferred means of communication. We will definitely work with you. So let us know. We also have a social media presence, and we mainly use Facebook pages right now. And this is a list of all the Facebook pages across the state. So we have a state level page as well as county level. And note that alongside this presentation, as it's posted on the webpage, there's also a PDF. So you can click on that PDF, and all of these links, both on this slide and the one before, will be clickable. So finally, what I'd like to say is, keep in touch with us. If at any point you have questions, my email is on this slide. And if you go to this link, the UVM extension, join 4-H, there is a list of all of your educators. If at any point you're feeling lost and you don't know about something in the program or how best to engage your family, just reach out. We'll be happy to help answer some questions for you. And we're really excited to have you here. And again, we could not have this program without our volunteers and supportive parents and caregivers and our awesome kids. So get involved, try it out. And if you come up with any questions, just email me at allison.smith.2@uvm.edu. And I so greatly appreciate you taking the time to check out this recording and orient yourself with 4-H.